How might that change your approach here?
Well, what I know is that nowadays you need a team that presses like a unit, and we have 11 individuals that we need to make them work together to have a good defensive work.
But it was hard for us. We couldn't. We were always a little bit too late, and from that also the third goal comes. Second half they pressed less, we had more the ball, but we couldn't change the game, and yeah, that's unfortunate.
We need a team that can work together to make defensive plays together. These were the words Xabi Alonso used to ring the siren in the Madrid dressing room, challenging the star-studded lineup of attackers, defenders, and even midfielders. Real Madrid's crushing defeat to PSG was a nightmare, but amidst the chaos, there was something much deeper at play. While all eyes were on the explosive performances of Mbappe and Vinicius, not many noticed the critical detail, the lack of support from these attackers in helping out with the defense during the opponent's build-up. But little did anyone know, this wasn't just about what was happening on the pitch. It was about something much more profound, something behind the lines that changed everything.
I'm wondering if you can speak about the team's tactical identity and specifically the pressing. There's been a lot of conversation in the media over the past year about Mbappe specifically. He's such an incredible offensive player, but there are concerns whether he can press or not.
Mbappe was under fire initially for not having the will to press at all, watching opponents move the ball in front of him. And at that time, Madrid decided to press on somebody else as well, and that was Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. has always been in the news after the Ballon d'Or loss to Rodrygo, but he was not the same. He had been inconsistent the whole season, and Real Madrid went trophyless.
First time?
Yeah, you?
No, not my first time.
But this wasn't just the end of the story. It was the beginning of something much bigger. After the Club World Cup, things took a dramatic turn. Vinicius Jr. was given a contract extension, but he felt frustrated. He believed he had been unfairly criticized for not helping out defensively, especially when compared to Mbappe, who had similar lapses but faced less scrutiny. Vinicius began to feel slighted and demanded that the club pay him more than Mbappe, wanting his salary to reflect his importance to the team. However, Real Madrid wasn't willing to meet those demands.
Vinny betrayed Real Madrid. He wants to get paid the same as Mbappe. If not, he's threatening to leave the club as a free agent if he doesn't get what he wants. Vinny and Florentino agreed to a deal, and Vinny said he was going to sign the contract after the Club World Cup, but he lied and he's not doing it now. And now Vinny wants more money, and he's telling everyone that he's going to leave as a free agent when his contract is over if he doesn't get what he wants.
Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Back in the previous season, a jaw-dropping offer came in from Al-Ahli, which changed the dynamics. The Saudi club reportedly made a massive bid, rumored to be around 500 million euros, 422 million, for Vinicius's transfer fee, alongside a contract worth up to 1 billion euros, 844 million, over 5 years, including bonuses. At that time, Real Madrid was convinced that Vinicius deserved a huge contract. But after his inconsistent season, doubts began to creep in, and the club became hesitant about committing to such a deal.
Kylian Mbappé could be set for a £259 million move to Saudi Arabia. The 700 million euro salary for one season works out 58.3 million euros a month, 13.3 million euros a week. That's 1.9 million euros a day, or if you like, just about 80,000 euros an hour, 1,332 euros a minute, 22 euros per second.
As things continue to unfold, it's becoming clear that Vinicius may no longer be as attached to staying at Madrid as he once was. While he's unlikely to make a move to Saudi Arabia, the possibility of him leaving Madrid is very much alive. However, his options in Europe are limited, with only 3 clubs in a position to accommodate him: PSG, Manchester City, and Bayern Munich. Each of these clubs could offer him the financial incentives and the platform to continue his career at the highest level.
If there's some sort of disagreement, there are only maybe 3 clubs he could really realistically go to. Manchester City, PSG, and I don't see him going there, or Bayern.
Real Madrid are going to make him the highest paid when Mbappe's right there. If you had to pick between the two, I think you would pick Mbappe over Vinicius Jr.
These are generational talents we're talking about. They're not going to let someone like Vinny go. This is crazy talk.
I'm saying if Vinny takes that approach, I'm not even saying he is, but if he did, you don't think they can come Real Madrid as a club and find a replacement? Because let's just say Vinny and Mbappe play the same position, and it's an argument of playing on the left. Neither wants to play as a 9. Guess who they could go out and get? bet.
Who?
Erling Haaland.
But as of now, no decision has been made. The uncertainty continues to loom over Vinicius' future, and it remains to be seen where he'll end up, as Real Madrid and the player himself weigh their next moves carefully. But here's the thing, Vinicius Jr. is not Cristiano Ronaldo. When Ronaldo tried to test Florentino Perez's patience, Perez didn't hesitate for a second. He made the bold decision to sell one of the greatest players of all time when the time came. That level of decisiveness is something Real Madrid is known for. And if Vinicius continues to push the club, especially with his demands and the uncertainty around his commitment, Perez may not shy away from making a similar call. Real Madrid has always prioritized the club's needs above any individual, and while Vinicius has been a key player, no one is irreplaceable. If the tensions rise high enough and a suitable offer comes in, just like with Ronaldo, Perez might make the difficult but necessary decision to let Vinicius go, no matter how controversial it might seem. The question is, will Vinicius push that far, or will the situation resolve itself before things get to that point? Only time will tell. Alongside Vinicius Jr., another Brazilian player, Rodrygo, could also be on his way out of Madrid. Despite his immense talent, he hasn't been given sufficient time on the pitch this season, and the situation didn't improve during the Club World Cup, where he also found himself sidelined for long periods. This lack of playing time has led to growing frustration, and it's no secret that tensions have been building between Rodrygo and manager Carlo Ancelotti. The relationship between the two has become increasingly strained, and now, with Xabi Alonso also not prioritizing him in his plans, it seems like Rodrygo's future at Madrid is hanging by a thread.
Rodrygo didn't even play this game. And with every game that goes by, you're starting to think and you're starting to realize that we might not see Rodrygo at Real Madrid next season. That Rodrygo's time at Real Madrid might come to an end very, very soon. I think after the Club World Cup, we are going to be seeing a lot more speculation and a lot more actual rumours coming in about Rodrygo leaving. Because I do think a move to Arsenal is looking like a possibility at this point. I don't think he will stay in. And I don't think he would want to stay if he's not getting no minutes.
The player, who once looked like one of the brightest stars at the club, might be forced to consider his options, as there's a very real possibility that he could leave. With the lack of trust from both the coaching staff and the limited opportunities on the pitch, Rodrygo may feel that his time at Madrid has come to an end. The question now is whether Madrid will be willing to let him go, or if they will try to work out a solution to keep him in the squad.
And if he's seen his manager, Xabi Alonso, going out in press conferences, Franco, this guy talks a lot about Franco and how he wants to use Franco when he comes next season. And you're starting to think that Rodrygo might be heading into a completely different direction.
At the moment, Rodrygo doesn't have any concrete suitors lined up, but his potential future remains a topic of interest. Last summer, both Arsenal and Manchester City expressed interest in signing him, so those clubs could still be in the mix if he decides to leave Madrid. However, nothing is certain yet, and it's still unclear where he might end up.
Basically, so he didn't start. It's not that he didn't play, but he didn't start. And it's still shocking for a player of the level of Rodrygo. Then obviously, Xabi Alonso does his decisions, and he always said it was a technical decision, not linked to any move this summer. But at the same time, Rodrygo wants clarity. Real Madrid will meet the camp of Rodrygo next week. Will probably the first of several meetings to clarify his future, because Rodrygo wants to understand what's going to happen next. Real Madrid are open to letting Rodrygo leave this summer. So Real Madrid are not closing the doors. 1 year ago, when there were possibilities, Real Madrid closed the doors to the exit of Rodrygo. Now it's going to be different. Real Madrid are not closing the doors. If there is a good proposal, they are prepared to accept. And Rodrygo has to decide now. Real Madrid say, we are open. It's on the player. Now Rodrygo will have to decide whether he wants to go and try something new or compete for a place at Real Madrid.
Once hailed as a future superstar, Rodrygo now finds himself in a difficult situation. His rise was meteoric, and expectations were high. But after a season full of frustrations, his situation has changed drastically. From being seen as the next big thing at Madrid, he's now struggling to even secure regular playing time. His fall from grace has been noticeable, and it remains to be seen whether he can rediscover his form and find a way back into the starting Centersil, or if a fresh start elsewhere is what he truly needs to reignite his career. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more complicated, the fiasco took yet another twist. There have been reports suggesting that Endrick, one of the most highly anticipated talents in world football, could also be leaving Real Madrid this summer. Despite being a young prodigy, the Brazilian forward's future in Madrid is now uncertain. What's even more intriguing is the growing interest from Xabi Alonso, who has reportedly set his sights on another academy player, Gonzalo Garcia. Xabi sees Garcia as a potential backup to Kylian Mbappé, and this shift in focus could lead to Endrick being pushed out of the picture. With the rising star potentially on the way out, Madrid's future plans seem to be rapidly shifting, and it's unclear where Endrick's path will take him. One thing is for sure, what was supposed to be a bright and promising future at the club is now under serious scrutiny. Will he stay and fight for his place, or will he leave for new opportunities this summer? Only time will tell.
Endrick's career is over before it even started at Real Madrid. Under Alonso, it was time for Endrick to prove himself this summer. But just before the Club World Cup, he got injured. So instead of him, Gonzalo Garcia from Castilla started every game. Not only that, but he also scored 2 goals, showing Alonso exactly what he needed to see. So because of this, Gonzalo Garcia is now the preferred choice. As for Endrick, he will most probably be loaned out this summer.
This saga surrounding Vinicius Jr, Rodrygo, and Endrick is one of the most complex and dramatic stories to unfold at Real Madrid in recent years. What started as a frustration over defensive responsibilities, with Xabi Alonso calling out the team to work together, soon spiraled into a series of tensions and demands. Vinicius, feeling unfairly criticized compared to Mbappé, began pushing for a higher salary, one that would surpass Mbappe's at Madrid. Despite a massive offer from Al-Ahli, Real Madrid hesitated due to Vinicius's inconsistent performances, leading to growing uncertainty about his future. But Vinicius was not alone in facing issues. Rodrygo, once a rising star, found himself sidelined for much of the season, including the Club World Cup, with tensions rising between him and manager Ancelotti. Xabi Alonso's lack of faith in him only added to the frustration. While Rodrygo does not yet have suitors lined up, Arsenal and Manchester City were interested last summer, leaving the door open for a potential move. From being a shining superstar, Rodrygo now finds himself on the brink of falling out of favor at Madrid, with his future uncertain. To add even more drama to the mix, reports surfaced suggesting that Endrick, the highly touted Brazilian youngster, might also be leaving this summer, with Xabi Alonso reportedly interested in academy player Gonzalo Garcia as a potential backup to Mbappé. Endrick's place at the club could be in jeopardy. As things stand, all 3 players, Vinicius, Rodrygo, and Endrick, face pivotal moments in their careers. Whether they stay at Madrid or seek opportunities elsewhere, the coming months will decide not just their futures, but also the direction in which Real Madrid moves as a club. This saga is far from over, and the decisions made could reshape the team for years to come. So, what do you think of all this? Do you think Vinicius Jr. deserves the pay raise he's asking for? Or is Real Madrid right to hesitate given his recent inconsistencies? How about Rodrygo? Should he stay and fight for his place? Or is it time for him to move on and find a fresh start elsewhere? And what about Endrick? Is he ready to make an impact at Madrid, or is his future better suited to a different club? We've seen some incredible talents come through the doors of Madrid, but do you think these players are truly living up to their potential? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you think each of these players should go from here? Let me know in the comments.